get a lot of turnovers. So we've got to take care of it.
Jack State women's basketball coach Rick Petrie joining us on the pregame show. Coach, your team has won 3 straight. Seems like the defense has kind of been the one setting the tone the last 3 timeouts. Overall, pretty pleased with what you've seen on that end of the court?
Yeah, I do feel good about what we've done defensively. Really, for most of the year, we've been really good defensively. Where we have come up short at times is we haven't been able to score the ball as much as we need to in earlier games. We've been able to do that the last few. Now, Western Kentucky presents a different set of problems because of how they play. Now, in our last game against Kennesaw State pressed us, and we did turn it over quite a bit. Western Kentucky presses as well. They do it a little bit differently, but they are incredible thieves. Like, for instance, in their last game against FIU, they forced over 30 turnovers and had 22 steals, but still lost. So they can create havoc on your offense, and also, they're a team that they play a lot of zone defense. Lots of people think zone defense is passive. Theirs is not. Theirs is very aggressive. Matter of fact, if you throw it into the middle, they just come after it like wild dogs after raw meat. I mean, they just come after the ball, and so that's why they're able to get a lot of turnovers. So we've got to take care of it. We've got to find a way to get it to spots where people have good looks at it. And then when they play in the zone and when they play as man-to-man, again, they're aggressive in that too. And we've got to be able to find a way to get downhill and create opportunities for ourselves. The strength of our team here recently has really been our inside people. Bree Rhodes had a really nice game against Kennesaw. Asia Barkley does a nice job for us off the bench. And then Maya Barnes had one of her best game in a month against Kennesaw. So hopefully, we can find a way to get the ball to them and give them an opportunity to make some plays.
As you look back at that game against Kennesaw on Saturday, 12-point win to open up conference play, it seemed like in the second half, getting the ball inside and starting to pull away. Did you see that being the difference in the game?
Well, yeah, we had to find a way to, first of all, get a shot off because we were turning it over a little bit too often. But then also find a way to get it to, the people who had the best chance of scoring. And in that case, it was our inside people, And so we'll look to do that, as that's really the strength right now. That's the strength of who we are offensively. So those are the people we've got to find a way to get the ball to them. We might not get it to them on the first pass, but maybe down the line within the possession.
It's got to make you difficult to defend as well as you guys have shot the 3 at times this year, knowing that that's an ability of this group. Now you've got the post presence inside. It's almost like you got to pick your poison a little bit.
It's true. The problem for us in some earlier games is that we couldn't shoot it. In some of the early games, we shot it so poorly that we weren't able to create enough space for those inside people to have success. When we do make a reasonable number from beyond the arc, it allows our inside people to have space to operate. And so hopefully we're able to provide that balance in this game.
You mentioned the turnovers, some of the other miscues in that game on Saturday. It's not often where you see some of the numbers like that and you come away with a win, especially in double digits. Did you learn a little bit about the resiliency of your team to kind of forget about some of that stuff and just make the next play?
Well, the thing, I think our team was definitely – conference play is different. It's the whole reason why we do this. So the non-conference games we played led to that. And so we do have a number of veteran returning players on this team, and they understand how important conference play is. And so I sensed a slightly higher level of urgency and a higher level of importance that our kids placed emotionally into the game. And so I think what that did was that translated into them, giving the requisite fight we needed, in a competitive game like last Saturday was.
You've already talked a little bit about Western Kentucky, top offensive team in the league. What are some of the other concerns on that end of the floor when you look at their offense?
Well, they're a 5-out team. They truly play 5-out. Their 5-player steps out and shoots threes. Actually doesn't in previous games hasn't posted up that much. They're real selective in how much they post her. Most of their offense is based on cutting, driving, and kicking. And so as a result, they're trying to keep the floor spaced. And that's what's been very successful for them. What's also been successful for them is points off turnovers. They create turnovers and get down the floor. They play really fast. They go from the defensive end to the offensive end really fast, whether it be off of a made basket. If you score it, they're going to come right down the floor and put it down your throat as fast as they can. If you make a free throw, same thing. They're going to get that joker down the floor as fast as possible and try to get a layup or an open three. So they play at an incredibly fast pace. They've got incredibly skilled players. From Meade to Hayes to Salary to 33, whose name is escaping me, Gilvin, the blonde. Those four kids are really skilled players, and they can all shoot it. Now, Salary hasn't shot it well here recently. Last year, though, she shot 33 from the arc for the season, which is decent. But this year she hadn't shot it from the arc well. That hasn't prevented her from shooting it, but she hadn't shot it well. But she is super talented at getting downhill and shooting jump shots over the top of people. So they've got a number of weapons. And then when you add their new five player, the transfer from Kansas, who is a 6'3" kid who steps out on the floor and is skilled and can shoot threes, they have a nice group. And their bench, they haven't, in their first two conference games, haven't played their bench a ton of minutes, but they've got capable kids. Every kid that occupies the five position, the center position from them, is a three-point shooter. So therefore, you've got to take that into account. And so, again, they're trying to create space, and they've got the personnel to do it, and that's why they've been able to score a lot of points.
Saw some press on Saturday. Going to see it again tonight. I think one of the things that you'll look at is obviously the more stops that you can get in the half court, the less pressure you're going to see.
Right. There's no question about that. If they don't score it, now sometimes they will even press off a miss. Sometimes, I mean, they take chances, but it's still not the same organized press that you would get off a make. But you're right. If we can get stops, rebounds, and push it out, then we don't have to face the pressure, and that's that's something that was really important for us in the fourth quarter of our game against Kennesaw. We got a bunch of stops, and we're able to get it down the floor without having to face the press a number of times, and we were able to score as a result.
Awesome. Good luck tonight, Coach.
Thank you.
Welcome back inside the Pete Matthews Coliseum. Women's basketball tonight on the Gamecock Sports Network as the Western Kentucky Lady Toppers at 9-5 on the season, 0-2 in Conference USA play, take on the Gamecocks of Jack State, 7-5 on the year, 1-0 in Conference USA play. Jack State trying to win their fourth consecutive game after losing their previous four. Western Kentucky trying to end a 3-game slide. You just heard from head coach Rick Petrie of the Gamecocks. The head coach interview is presented by F&M Bank, serving Calhoun County since 1915. This is the Countdown to Tip-Off show presented by JSU alumnus Congressman Mike Rogers. Gamecocks taking on Western Kentucky tonight. Jack State 10th nationally in bench points per game at 32.3. Western Kentucky, the top scoring offense in Conference USA at 76.1 points per game. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for head coach Greg Collins. Our starting lineups are brought to you by Tried and True. Our company's legacy is 75 years in the John Deere business in Alabama. Try Green Equipment. At guard number 1, Destiny Salary, a 6-foot graduate student from Jonesboro, Arkansas, who averages 13 points and 4 rebounds per game. Number 3, Alexis Meade, a 5'4" senior from Moreno Valley, California. Team leader in scoring at 14.3 points per game, 3.3 rebounds per game, and a team best 4.1 assists per contest. Number 10, Acacia Hayes, a 5'7" junior from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, 12.7 points, 2.7 rebounds, and 2.1 assists per game. She is the top 3-point shooter with 20 made and shoots nearly 40% from beyond the arc. Number 23, Zofi Telegdi, a 6'3" junior from Budapest, Hungary, averages close to 8 points and 5 rebounds per game and is a 42% field goal shooter. And finally, number 33, Josie Gilvin, a 6-foot junior from Louisville, Kentucky, averages 10.4 points, a team best 4.9 rebounds per game, and 2.6 assists per game. Greg Collins in his 7th season as the head coach at WKU, 110 victories and 86 losses. pretty balanced effort this season. They've had 6 different players score 20 or more points in a game. They've had 6 different leading scorers through 14 games. Taking a look at the starting lineup for Jack State under the direction of 12th year head coach Rick Petrie. Starting at guard, number 2 is Shaquise May, a 5'10 senior from Atlanta, Georgia. Averages 3.3 points, 2 rebounds, and 1.2 assists per game. Number 3, Samaya Steele, a 5'8 junior from Meridianville, Alabama. Averages 7 points, 3.5 rebounds, and 2.5 assists per contest. Number 10, Brianna Rhodes, coming off a big game against Kennesaw State on Saturday. A 6-foot senior from Montgomery, Alabama, and Carver High School. 9.5 points per game, leads the team. 5.3 rebounds per contest, and 1.3 assists per game. 6-foot senior Maya Barnes, number 22, gets the start out of Montgomery, Alabama. 8.1 points, 5.5 rebounds per game, and 1.3 assists per contest. And making her second start of the season, number 71, Maria Sanchez Ponce, a 5'10 junior from Spain. Averages close to 5 points, 2 rebounds per game. Jack State wearing the all-white uniforms with the red trim. They will operate from left to right from our vantage point in this first half of play. Conversely, WKU in the all-red uniforms. Western Kentucky arced above and below the black numbers on the front and back of the uniform. Conversely, they go from right to left. Jumping at center court is Brianna Rhodes and Zophie Talegdi. The opening tip-off controlled by Jack State, who moves into the half court with Samaya Steele at the point, who now hands off to Brianna Rhodes. Over to the left wing, 3-point bomb on the way by Barnes is off the mark. Defensive rebound controlled by Western Kentucky at the top of the key, but it's tied up by Sanchez Ponce. The alternating possession arrow favors Western Kentucky off the opening tip. 15 seconds in, and we are scoreless. Inbounding for the Lady Toppers. Just to our right is Josie Gilvin, as she gets it into Alexis Mead, a preseason All-Conference USA selection, who hands off on the right wing to Acacia Hayes. Gilvin over to the left side, and it's through the hands and off the official as they try to connect with Salary. Basketball out of bounds to Jack State. Second possession of the contest for JSU. And now Western Kentucky extends the defense, as we talked about with Coach Rick Petrie before the ball game. We will see some press out of Western, mostly after the make, but they do it here out of the inbounds in the backcourt. Brianna Rhodes on the left wing, pivots with 10 to shoot, now hands off to Shaquise May. They try and go back into Rhodes. The pass is deflected back to her at the free throw line, down to 3 seconds to shoot. Sanchez Ponce on the drive. She's tied up and travels in the lane. So each team with a turnover, and now Western Kentucky gets the basketball for the second time. Josie Gilvin underneath her own basket, inbounds to Alexis Mead. To the top of the key to Zophie Talegdi. Native of Hungary looks to the right side, going back to Mead. Mead getting away from the defender, trying to drive, goes back to Talegdi. Now to the top of the key to Destiny Salary. 13 to shoot. They try to go back to Talegdi, and Western has turned it over on each of their first 2 possessions. Something to keep an eye on. Western Kentucky forced 38 turnovers in their game on Saturday against Florida International. FIU won the game by 2. Sanchez Ponce on the drive from the right wing, lays it up and in. Maria Sanchez Ponce gets Jack State onto the scoreboard for the first time with 8.5 left in the first quarter. Starting for the second time this season, here's a three-pointer at the other side, an air ball off the hands of Acacia Hayes, and it's out of bounds to Jack State. Western Kentucky 33% as a team from three-point land. And again, Hayes the best of the group at just under 40% with 20 makes. Here comes the all-court pressure by WKU. Jack State running the far sideline, breaks it, but then it's stolen away by Josie Gilvin. And then a foul in the backcourt. 12.9 steals per game, 16th nationally, and there's the first of the game by the Lady Toppers. The foul was called against Jack State's Maya Barnes. The senior picks up her first and the first of the contest. 2 minutes expired in the first quarter. Jack State 2, WKU nothing. WKU in the half court. Zophie Telegdi with the right wing layup, and it's good. And now WKU will press off the make, and they drop back into the half court defense. Samaya Steele looks to the top of the key on the pass from Shaquise May. Steele, one-on-one in the matchup against Alexis Mead. Western in the man-to-man defense with 10 to shoot. Drop step turnaround jumper missed by Brianna Rhodes, and the rebound pulled down by the Lady Toppers. Here's Mead in transition, jump past the left wing to Destiny Salary. Gilvin back to the left side. Mead crossover dribble, gets to the baseline, goes past the basket, circles back to the top of the key and passes to Salary. She attacks the basket. Left-handed layup is good. Destiny Salary, the 6-footer from Jonesboro, Arkansas, who spent 2 seasons at Ole Miss, gives WKU the 2-point advantage with 7:05 to go in the first quarter. Sanchez Ponce in the backcourt with 2 seconds to break the timeline, and does. Again, working against all-court pressure. Now it's Samaya Steele off the screen, looks into the right corner for Shaquise May. Gives up the dribble on the right wing, goes back to Steele in the corner with 7 to shoot. Pass across the lane is knocked out of bounds. Jack State will inbound with 7 to shoot and 6:46 to play in the first quarter, trailing 4-2. Inbounding is Samaya Steele. Steele looks into the lane for Brianna Rhodes. Quick turnaround, Jay doesn't go. Rebound, Destiny Salary of Western Kentucky, a team that only averages about 32 rebounds a game. And then Josie Gilvin turns it over up against the end line. Maria Sanchez Ponce back the other way and hands it off to Maya Barnes. Between the circles is Samaya Steele. Steele matched up against Alexis Mead, her numerical counterpart, also wearing number 3. The ball rotates to the right side for Shaquise May. Inside, Rhodes layup too strong off the glass, and she's fouled trying to pull down the rebound. Alexis Mead guilty of her first and the team's first. 6:16 to play in the quarter, 20 on the shot clock as the Gamecocks will have it underneath their own basket. May to inbound. Trying to, and does not beat the 5-second count. Third turnover of the first quarter by Jack State. They trail by 2. 6:16 left. Inbound pass comes in to Alexis Mead, the 5'4 senior from Moreno Valley, California. 28 made threes and a preseason All-Conference USA selection. They go into the post to Zophie Telegdi, who's fouled, going up for the shot. Foul was called on Shaquise May. That's her first, team second. At the free throw line, Zophie Telegdi, a 6'3 junior from Budapest, Hungary, was at Kansas last season, currently averaging about 8 points per game, and is now 9 of 16 at the free throw line. Has represented Hungary in the U16 Euro Cup and the U19 World Cup, where the team won bronze. Good on both free throws. Western Kentucky will press up by 4 after the 2 made free throws. Maria Sanchez Ponce in the double team gets it ahead to Maya Barnes. Finds Sanchez Ponce in the backcourt. It's deflected over the sideline to WKU. Turnover number 4 in the quarter by Jack State. In the half court is Destiny Salary. Again, the Gamecocks had some issues with Kennesaw State's full court press on Saturday and have had a hard time working against Western Kentucky's here. Jump shot no good by Gilvin. Rebound pulled down by Jack State. As we talked about with Coach Petrie, that's the best way to neutralize this press because they don't do it off the miss. From the left side, it's Samaya Steele looking to the top of the key to Shaquise May. May trying to drive the right side of the lane. Turnaround jumper against Gilvin goes up and in. Shaquise May with the make, her first basket of the game. And the Gamecocks cut the deficit in half, but they're asleep in transition defense, and Acacia Hayes makes them pay for it. Back to a 4-point advantage with 5:09 remaining in the first quarter. In the half court for Jack State is Samaya Steele matched up against Alexis Mead. Been all man-to-man defense so far for WKU. Thought we might see some zone, and then an illegal screen is called against Jack State. Brianna Rhodes called for the foul. That's her second and the third against the Gamecocks. Timeout on the floor with 4:57 to play in the first. And Western Kentucky leading Jack State by the count of 8-4.
In the early hours after the tsunami, it was ham radio that was on the air, saving lives. When Florida was ripped by hurricanes, the hams were there. In the critical moments after the attack of 9/11, it was the hams who coordinated emergency messages. When disasters strike, the hams are ready. Ham radio works when other communications don't. To learn how you can become a ham radio operator, call the ARRL, the National Association for Amateur Radio, at 1-800-326-3942.
Put your phone on D&D, that means do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always sing with me. So put your phone on D&D, that means do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always remember this beat.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back inside the Pete Matthews Coliseum. Glad to have you along for some women's basketball tonight as Jack State plays host to Western Kentucky. 8-4 in favor of the Lady Toppers with 4:57 remaining in the first quarter. Jack State running into some turnover issues against this Western Kentucky defense here in the early going. 5 turnovers in their first 10 possessions of the contest. Taking a look at some of the early numbers. Western Kentucky with 4 points off of those 5 turnovers, and they have a 6-4 advantage on points in the paint thus far. 4-point advantage with 4:57 to go in the first quarter. Those are our Amherst numbers of the game. Taking a look around at our scoreboard. A big one in women's basketball tonight taking place in Knoxville, Tennessee. 6th-ranked LSU with a 1-point lead over 16th-ranked Tennessee, 46-45. Looking elsewhere around Conference USA, Sam Houston trailing Liberty 28-27. That game approaching halftime. At the intermission, Jack State's opponent on Saturday, Middle Tennessee, with just a 1-point advantage over Kennesaw State, 24-23. 2 minutes to go in the second quarter. FIU with a 37-26 lead over La Tech. And again, we're getting ready to resume play here at the Pete Matthews Coliseum, where Western Kentucky has an 8-4 lead over Jack State. Western Kentucky with their starting 5 still on the floor. Destiny Salary, Alexis Mead, Acacia Hayes, Sophie Telegdi, and Josie Gilvin. They have the ball working right to left with Alexis Mead handing off on the wing to Hayes. Hayes looks top of the key to Destiny Salary, who attacks the basket from the right side, works it back to the wing to Hayes. Hayes runs into a triple team underneath the rim, kicks it back out to Salary with 15 to shoot. Fadeaway jumper from the CUSA logo. That was blocked by Maya Barnes. Back the other way come the Gamecocks. Fresh into the game, Asia Barclay, a 6-foot junior from Anniston, Alabama. She sets the screen at the top of the key for Maria Sanchez-Ponce and gets it to the right side to Samaya Steele. Steele off the screen with 13 to shoot. Works left side. May kicks into the corner. Sanchez-Ponce for 3, too strong. Rebound into the hands of Zophie Telegdi of WKU. To the left side, Acacia Hayes looks top of the key. Telegdi open look for 3, good. First made 3 of the contest for either group, and WKU has its biggest lead of the game at 7 with 4 to play in the first. Little 3-quarter court press by WKU. Jack State breaks it with a second remaining on the 10-second count. Underneath the basket, a foul called as Sanchez-Ponce was going to the rim. Foul was called against Zophie Telegdi. That's her first and the team's second. Into the game for WKU is Callie Rose West, a 6'1 senior from Orlando, Florida, transferred from Iowa Western. She replaces Destiny Salary. Looks like Alexis Mead will head to the bench in favor of Mackenzie Chatfield, a 5'9 sophomore from Auckland, New Zealand. Sanchez Ponce to the free throw line. The first one on the way, rims out. Into the Gamecock lineup is number 14, Valentina Saric. Did not see her play on Saturday. Averages close to 7 points per contest. Sanchez Ponce, 4 of 7 at the free throw line this season. Make it 5 out of 8 as she makes the second. Sanchez Ponce to the bench. Eden Sample into the game, a redshirt junior from Sewanee, Georgia, wears number 1. Western from right to left with Mackenzie Chatfield handing off on the right side to Acacia Hayes. Hayes to the top of the key to Zophie Talegdi, hands off to Hayes. Hayes dribbled it off her toe and it's scooped up by Valentina Saric. Saric outlet to the near side for Samaya Steele. Saric top of the key, step back three-pointer on the way, bingo. Welcome back, Valentina Saric. 33% free throw shooter, makes it a 3-point game with 3:20 to go in the first. 20-footer on the way by Talegdi, comes up short and goes out of bounds to Jack State. Gamecocks a chance to tie it with a triple. Lady Toppers will extend the defense full court. Here's May in the backcourt, brings it back to the near side to Steele, and they break it with a long pass down the right sideline to Eden Sample. Samaya Steele, the junior from Meridianville, looks into the right corner. Head fake in a drive by Sample. She's cut off. Back into the right corner. Steele, 3. We're tied at 11. 2:53 remaining in the quarter. Jack State has scored the last 7. Now setting the offense is Mackenzie Chatfield on the right wing, matched up against Samaya Steele. Looks inside, turnaround jumper by Gilvin is off the glass and into the hands of Valentina Saric. Jack State looking to lead for the first time since 2-0, 90 seconds into the game. 2:27 left in the first quarter. Samaya Steele backing out against Mackenzie Chatfield. Now at the top of the key, kicks to the right side for Sample. Sample, open look for 3, draws the foul. It's called against Acacia Hayes. That's her first. Correction, that'll be the first against Hayes and the third against Western Kentucky. Shaquise May, Samaya Steele head to the bench for Rick Petrie's club. Elsie Harris now into the game. And actually they're going to keep Steele in. Sample 9 of 15 this season at the free throw line after missing the front end. She'll shoot 2 more. Sample, the redshirt junior from Sewanee, Georgia, converts on the second. As a team, Jack State 64.6% from the free throw line coming into today's game. And the third free throw finds its way home. Heading to the bench is Samaya Steele. And into the game is Kiera Thornsberry, a 5'7" freshman from Pikeville, Kentucky. At the top of the key, ball goes to the right side. Zophie Talegdi, good pass into the paint, cutting to the rim and laying it up and in is Destiny Salary. 13 all with just under 2 minutes to play. Thornsberry at the top of the key for Jack State. Now hands it off to Elsie Harris. Harris trying to back down the defender. Into the lane, fadeaway jumper off the mark and into the hands of Zophie Talegdi. Out to the right side, it's Mackenzie Chatfield. Top of the key, it's Talegdi on the drive with 90 to go. Layup is good. Zophie Talegdi with 7 or 9 here in the early going to lead Western Kentucky, which has a 2-point lead with 80 seconds remaining in the first quarter. At the top of the key, it is Elsie Harris. Harris with 1:07 left. Looks over to the left side for Eden Sample. 8 to shoot with a minute to go. Sample, turnaround. Barclay trying to post up, looks into the corner. Harris at the horn, doesn't get it to go. Rebound pulled down by Western Kentucky's Kelly Rose West. In transition, it's Gilvin. Her layup off the mark. Rebound pulled down by Jack State. Thornsberry pushing it ahead with 31 seconds remaining in the quarter. Thornsberry gets it back from the left side, kicks it over to the right side to Elsie Harris. Harris hands off to Thornsberry. Thornsberry off the screen at the point from Barclay with 13 left and draws the foul. Infraction called against Destiny Salary. And it is ball out of bounds. 20 on the shot clock, 24.8 on the game clock. Inbound pass comes into Valentina Saric. Saric hands off to Elsie Harris, looks to the right side for Kiera Thornsberry. 12 to shoot. Thornsberry gets it back from Harris. Three-point shot, airballed, out of bounds to WKU. So now the final 9 seconds of the quarter. Telegdi with 5. Telegdi to the right side to Mead. Mead with 2. 1, and they get a foul with 1.2. No, it's a travel. So WKU turns it over up by 2 with 1.2 left. We'll see if Saric can get a pass, catch, and shoot. Thornsberry catches, and that is the end of the first quarter. After 10 minutes of play, it's WKU 15, Jack State 13. We're back with the start of the second quarter after this brief timeout. You're listening to Jack State women's basketball on the Gamecock Sports Network.
How was your drive to school?
Let me tell you. I had to get my iced coffee first. I just can't seem to put it down. My favorite rapper just announced a tour. My phone was buzzing like crazy. I'm so excited. I had to text all my friends right then to talk about it. Then, someone started calling me and...
Let's try that again.
I turned my phone off right away. I never drive distracted.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Get hurt in the game? We tough it out. Feel exhausted? We push on. Feeling down? We pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. But there are times when bootstraps aren't enough. When stress gets to us and we need to talk to someone about what we're really going through. So we're going to reach out because sometimes mental health is not a one-person job. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Hello, and welcome to the Jack State Sports Network Streamcast. Tonight's presentation is available on YouTube in audio-only format or from a link at the Jack State Sports Network webpage. Thank you for listening and cheering on the Gamecocks. Now to the venue and your host for today's action.
Back inside the Pete Matthews Coliseum at the end of the first quarter. WKU leading Jack State in our women's basketball game by the count of 15-13. Leading the way for Western Kentucky is Zophie Telegdi with 19 points. Destiny Salary has added 4, and Acacia Hayes has added 2. Western Kentucky 6 of 11 from the field to start the contest, 54%, just 1 of 3 from 3, 33%, and they've made both of their free throws. For Jack State, balanced scoring effort. Maria Sanchez-Ponce, Samaya Steele, and Valentina Saric with 3 points each. Sequise May, Eden Sample with 2 points each. Jack State just 4 of 12 from the field, 2 of 6 from three-point land, and 3 of 5 at the free throw line. Both teams have had some turnover issues. Western Kentucky with 6 and Jack State with 5. Just 1 steal for Western Kentucky. Again, they're among the national leaders at 13 per game, and 3 by Jack State. And those are our numbers of the game, brought to you by Amherst. It's Jack State ball to start the second quarter, working from left to right in the white uniforms. Elsie Harris setting the offense off the screen by Brianna Rhodes. She works from the left wing, working one-on-one against Alexis Mead. Elsie works it to the top of the key to Valentina Saric. Saric pulls up from 3 off the front of the iron. Rebound tipped around and controlled by Josie Gilvin of WKU. Meade flips it back to Gilvin on the right wing, right in front of Rick Petrie on the Jack State bench. Meade at the point with 9:28 to play and 17 to shoot. Destiny Salary on the wing, looking inside to Telegdi. Now on the attack, the layup from the right side, good by Callie Rose West. Callie Rose West off the bench, a senior from Montverde Academy. Spent a season at UNO before going to Iowa Western. 17-13, WKU leading Jack State. Elsie Harris, again off the screen by Rhodes, gets into the lane on the left side. Layup doesn't go. Zophie Telegdi pulls down another rebound. That's her third of the game. From the left side, thinking about the three was Gilvin. She works it back to the point to their preseason All-Conference USA point guard and Alexis Meade. Back to Salary on the left side to the free throw line. Here's Callie Rose with the pull-up jumper. West shot doesn't go. Rebound tracked down by Maria Sanchez-Ponce. She brings it into the half court. Sanchez-Ponce tries to split the defenders on the layup. It falls out. Rebound controlled by Callie Rose West of WKU. Salary, layup, fouled. Destiny Salary will go to the line after the infraction is called against Eden Sample. Sample picks up her first and the team's first of the second quarter. Substitution for Jack State, Maya Barnes back into the contest, replacing Valentina Saric. At the free throw line is Destiny Salary, 69.2% this season. Spent the 2021 season at Tennessee, then 2 years at Ole Miss, and this is her second year at WKU. First free throw is good to push the lead to 5. It's been as many as 7. Jack State answered with a 7-0 run to tie it at 11. And both free throws are good by Salary to make the lead 6, 19-13, 8:20 remaining in the second quarter. From the right side is Sanchez-Ponce looking back to the point. Driving is Maya Barnes. She's tied up and loses it. Back the other way comes Destiny Salary. Salary up against the end line, kicks it back out to Josie Gilvin. Gilvin looks inside to West, who's fouled. Western Kentucky 73.2% as a team at the free throw line this season. Maria Sanchez-Ponce called for the infraction. That's 1 against her, 2nd against Jack State here in the second quarter. Greg Collins will go to the bench, giving Josie Gilvin a rest and bringing Maya Pratcher, a 6-foot junior from Memphis, into the game, transfer from Jackson State. Callie Rose West is perfect at the free throw line this season and is now 3 for 3 this year. One more coming up for the Orlando native. Off the left hand and through the net, making no contact whatsoever with the rim. 8-point advantage is the biggest of the game for WKU. It comes with just under 8 to play in the second at 21-13. Brianna Rhodes on the attack, goes to the rim, too hard off the heel, and the rebound controlled by Zophie Telegdi of WKU. The one and done in the half court for Jack State, and Western trying to get into double digits for the first time. A double-digit lead, that is. Alexis Meade with 15 to shoot, tries to push it into the far corner, and the pass was deflected out of bounds by Samaya Steele. Shaquise May back into Rick Petrie's lineup. She replaces Maria Sanchez-Ponce. 7:33 to play, 14 to shoot. To the top of the key for Maya Pratcher. Alexis Meade. Little give and go. 3-point shot on the way by Meade. Too strong off the rim. West tried to tip it out, but it's controlled by Shaquise May of Jack State. May at the top of the key. Now they back off into a little bit of zone, and May chucks the 3 and leaves it well short. Basketball out of bounds to WKU, which will have its second possession, trying to get to a double-digit advantage. Alexis Meade working from right to left in the all-red uniforms trimmed in black. Zophie Telegdi to Callie Rose West on the right side. Cutting to the basket is Meade. She's tied up at the right elbow. Rolls it back out near side. Destiny Salary. Salary tied up against Barnes, tries to drive back out to Meade, and Salary travels. That is turnover number 7 of the contest and the first of the second quarter by WKU. It comes with 6:49 to play in the second. Jack State with the ball, trailing by 8. 21-13 in favor of the Lady Toppers. Samaya Steele attacking from the left wing, works it back out to Maya Barnes. Hands off top of the key to Eden Sample. Sample trying to back down Destiny Salary. Sample back to the top of the key. Catch and release triple by May doesn't go. And the rebound tracked down by Alexis Meade of WKU. Destiny Salary kicks back out to the left side. Telegdi fakes left, goes right. Now back to the point to Alexis Meade. 6:17 to play, 16 to shoot. Maya Pratcher looks to the point to Telegdi. Tries to hand it back off to Pratcher with 9 to shoot. Now it's Meade. Drives the lane. Reverse layup off the bottom of the rim. Rebound controlled by Maya Barnes of Jack State. Samaya Steele back to the top of the key. Barnes triple, no. Rebound Zophie Telegdi of WKU. Jack State 2 for 10 to start the game from 3. 30% as a team from bonus range. A steal in the half court and then a foul. Eden Sample was coming away with the ball. Destiny Salary called for the foul, and that's 2 against Salary. And quickly, Greg Collins will go to the bench. Callie Rose West coming out along with Salary. It's like returning to the lineup, Acacia Hayes, number 10, and Josie Gilvin, number 33. Jack State ball in the half court. Maria Sanchez-Ponce back into Rick Petrie's lineup. She gets the ball in the right corner with 5:40 to play in the second. Comes off the screen by Maya Barnes. Now it's top of the key to Brianna Rhodes. Rhodes trying to drive the left side of the lane, runs into a double team, tough turnaround jumper, airballed into the hands of Alexis Meade. Toppers back the other way. Acacia Hayes drives the left side of the lane. Good defense by Barnes. She might have gotten a piece of that one. And hitting the deck to get after the loose basketball is Elsie Harris. Harris gets it back from Maria Sanchez-Ponce. Now back to Maria. Right wing triple. Left it short. Rebound pulled down by Maya Pratcher of WKU. And Greg Collins saw something he did not like. He takes a 30, and that'll extend us to a media timeout. It comes with 5:07 to play in the second quarter. The Lady Toppers with a 21-13 lead over Jack State.
In the early hours after the tsunami, it was ham radio that was on the air, saving lives. When Florida was ripped by hurricanes, the hams were there. In the critical moments after the attack of 9/11, it was the hams who coordinated emergency messages. When disasters strike, the hams are ready. Ham radio works when other communications don't. To learn how you can become a ham radio operator, call the ARRL, the National Association for Amateur Radio, at 1-800-326-3942.
Put your phone on D&D, that means do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always sing with me. So put your phone on D&D, that means do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always remember this beat.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Back inside the Pete Matthews Coliseum, women's basketball tonight on the on the Gamecocks Sports Network, as WKU has the lead over Jack State. Let's take a look at the Alabama Power scoreboard. Some games happening across Conference USA. Sam Houston with a 29-28 lead over Liberty with 8:42 left in the third. Early third quarter, actually 5:39 left in the third quarter. Middle Tennessee with a 29-27 lead over Kennesaw State. 8:29 left in the third quarter. FIU pulling away from La Tech 47-35. So Western Kentucky here at the Pete Matthews Coliseum with a 21-13 lead over Jack State. Leading the way for WKU is Zophie Telegdi with 9 points and 5 rebounds. Leading the way, a balanced scoring effort for Jack State, which has been shut out thus far here in the second. 3 points for Sanchez Ponce, Samaya Steele, and Valentina Saric. So it looks like we had a scoreboard issue corrected. It was showing 23-13 on the scoreboard in the arena briefly. The stats had 21-13. That is the correct score. And it's WKU ball working from right to left from our vantage point, trying to take the 10-point lead. Top of the key for Western Kentucky is Acacia Hayes. She hands off to Telegdi, and now it's Alexis Mead. Mead into the corner to an open Gilvin. Her three-pointer hits hard off the rim and bounces into the hands of Asia Barclay of Jack State. Gamecocks trying to chip into an 8-point deficit and score for the first time here in the second quarter. Maya Barnes turns around and lays it up and in and gets the Gamecocks on the board. Maya Barnes with her first basket of the game. Alexis Mead trying to attack the rim from the left side, gets tied up with Elsie Harris. And the ball out of bounds to Jack State. Good defense by Elsie Harris on the play, the redshirt senior from Mobile. Defense extended full court. Baseball pass down the left sideline ahead to Asia Barclay. Turnaround Jay in the lane is good. Back-to-back buckets by the Gamecocks as Barclay gets her first point of the game. And it's now 21-17. At the top of the key, it's Josie Gilvin handing off. And inside the layup, good by Mead on the handoff from Telegdi at the top of the key. 23-17 in favor of the Lady Toppers. Step back, open look for three. Sanchez Ponce converts. Her second triple of the game. She has 6 to lead the way for Jack State. And the Gamecocks are within 3 with 3:25 left in the second quarter. Zophie Telegdi from the left wing matched up against Asia Barclay. Tries to take her off the dribble and hands off to Josie Gilvin. Cross-court pass to Alexis Mead. And now back to Telegdi at the point. 5 to shoot. Tries to drive the lane. Working her way through. Layup high off the glass. No good. Rebound Asia Barclay of Jack State. Elsie Harris from the wing. Harris with just under 3 to play until the halftime intermission. Maria Sanchez Ponce off the screen, steps back, thought about the 3, goes left side to Maya Barnes. Barnes trying to back down Maya Pratcher. Barnes, turnaround jumper, rims hard off the heel, and Pratcher was fouled trying to pull down the rebound by Barclay. First against Barclay, third against Jack State here in the second quarter. 2:42 left in the second. WKU with the ball, working right to left, leading 23-20. Inbound pass came into Zophie Telegdi, who gives it back to Mead, who breaks the timeline. Mead matched up against Elsie Harris, looks top of the key for Josie Gilvin. Gilvin, pass deflected and stolen away. Good job by Barclay to read that. Here's Harris in transition, the layup good. Elsie Harris gets her first basket of the game, and the Gamecocks are within 1 with 2 1/4 left in the second. Alexis Mead to Telegdi at the point. Zophie out to the right side to Mead. To the point to Maya Pratcher, looking left side to Telegdi. 12 to shoot as Mead gets it back. Mead into the lane, lost the handle on it, turnover, it's Jack State ball. Turnover number 11 of the game by WKU, and Jack State with a basket here will regain the lead for the first time since the 2:17 mark of the first quarter. 1:55 left here in the second. Ball moved ahead to Maya Barnes. They hand it off right side to Shaquise May to break the press. Barnes in the lane through a lot of contact, got her own rebound off the glass. No shot clock reset as the ball did not hit the rim. Here's May with 10. Harris for 3 off the side iron. Rebound collected by Zophie Talegdi of WKU. Loose ball again, scooped up by Barnes. And a jump ball called. Possession arrow, WKU, with 1:29 left until halftime. Callie Rose West back into the Western Kentucky lineup. Destiny Salary back into the Jack State lineup. Both coaches employ a tried and true substitution method to keep them from getting a too many men penalty. There are 5 rolled up towels in front of each team's bench. Anytime a player is going to go into the game, they take a towel and hand it off to the player they are replacing, and that player puts it back on the scorer's table. In the half court, it's Alexis Mead looking to the right side of Zophie Talegdi. Mead, top of the key 3, off the mark to the left. Rebound tracked down by Asia Barclay of Jack State. Final minute of the second quarter, Jack State trying to regain the lead, but they are called for an offensive foul. Illegal screen called against Asia Barclay. Second against Barclay. Fourth against the Gamecocks here in the second quarter. Back into the contest, Valentina Saric. She replaces Barclay. Final minute of the second quarter. 23-22, WKU with the lead and the basketball. Alexis Mead, the 5'4 senior, looks to the point to Josie Gilvin, the 6'4 junior, 6-foot junior. Talegdi, hands off. On the attack goes Hayes. Into the lane, tough layup off the mark by Callie Rose West, and the rebound controlled by Jack State. 35 seconds left until halftime. On the attack goes Elsie Harris, top of the key 3. Maya Barnes in and out. Rebound pulled down by Josie Gilvin. Shot clock off, game clock at 24. Alexis Mead on the slow trot across midcourt. The Lady Toppers will likely have the final say in the first half. It's a 1-point game, 23-22. Jack State had a pair of possessions to try and take the lead. A turnover and a missed shot. Gilvin with 7 to the near side for Alexis Mead. Wide open look to the rim, lays it up and in. Rick Petrie can't believe it, and that's how the first half ends. WKU will take a 25-22 lead into the locker room after outscoring the Gamecocks 10-9 in the second quarter. We'll step aside for a brief timeout and come back with our halftime report presented by Chick-fil-A of Jacksonville. You're listening to Jack State Women's Basketball on the Gamecock Sports Network.
How was your drive to school?
Let me tell you, I had to get my iced coffee first. I just can't seem to put it down. My favorite rapper just announced a tour. My phone was buzzing like crazy. I'm so excited. I had to text all my friends right then to talk about it. Then, someone started calling me and...
Let's try that again.
I turned my phone off right away. I never drive distracted.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Get hurt in the game? We tough it out. Feel exhausted? We push on. Feeling down? We pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. But there are times when bootstraps aren't enough. When stress gets to us and we need to talk to someone about what we're really going through. So we're going to reach out because sometimes mental health is not a one-person job. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Put your phone on D&D. That means do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always sing with me. So put your phone on D&D. That means do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always remember this beat.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
In the early hours after the tsunami, it was ham radio that was on the air, saving lives. When Florida was ripped by hurricanes, the hams were there. In the critical moments after the attack of 9/11, it was the hams who coordinated emergency messages. When disasters strike, the hams are ready. Ham radio works when other communications don't. To learn how you can become a ham radio operator, call the ARRL, the National Association for Amateur Radio, at 1-800-326-3942.
Let's take a moment to breathe. Deep inhale. Extend your spine. Remain focused on what you're doing. If safe to do so, exhale slowly, leaning to one side. Inhale back to center. If safe to do so, exhale slowly to the opposite side. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. This message is brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
How was your drive to school?
Let me tell you, I had to get my iced coffee first. I just can't seem to put it down. My favorite rapper just announced a tour. My phone was buzzing like crazy. I'm so excited. I had to text all my friends right then to talk about it. Then, someone started calling me and...
Let's try that again.
I turned my phone off right away. I never drive distracted.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Hello, and welcome to the Jack State Sports Network Streamcast. Tonight's presentation is available on YouTube in audio-only format or from a link at the Jack State Sports Network webpage. Thank you for listening and cheering on the Gamecocks. Now to the venue and your host for today's action.
Back inside the Pete Matthews Coliseum, we are at halftime where Jack State trails WKU 25-22 in our women's basketball game tonight. Conference USA play, second CUSA game of the season for Jack State after a victory over Kennesaw State on Saturday, 68-56. WKU looking for their first Conference USA victory of the season after losses to Liberty 77-66 and to FIU 80-79. Here at the intermission, it's WKU with a 25-22 lead over Jack State. Our halftime report is presented by Chick-fil-A of Jacksonville. What's better than a game day with the Gamecocks? Game day with the Gamecocks and a Chick-fil-A nugget tray. Order online today for Jack State's next home game. Chick-fil-A of Jacksonville, located at 500 Pelham Road South, proud partners of Jack State Athletics. Let's take a look at the stats first for Western Kentucky in this first half of play. Leading the way is Zophie Telegdi. Did not come off the floor in the first half. Went 3 of 5 from the field, 2 of 2 at the free throw line. Leading all scorers with 9 points and 5 rebounds. Telegdi also with 1 assist. Josie Gilvin with an assist and a steal and 4 rebounds. Destiny Salary, 2 of 3 from the field, 6 points and a rebound. 4 points for Alexis Mead to go along with 3 rebounds and an assist. 2 points for Acacia Hayes and an assist. Callie Rose West off the bench with 4 points and 2 rebounds. Totals for Western Kentucky, they were 9 of 22 from the field, 1 of 6 from 3, and a perfect 6 of 6 at the free throw line. Our Amherst numbers of the game for Jack State. Maya Barnes with 2 points and 4 rebounds. 2 rebounds for Brianna Rhodes. 6 points for Maria Sanchez Ponce on a three-pointer made and a free throw made, along with an extra field goal. Shaquise May with 2 points and 2 assists. Samaya Steele with 3 points, a rebound, and an assist. 2 points, 4 rebounds for Asia Barclay, and 2 points and an assist for Eden Sample. Valentina Saric with 3 points off the bench to go along with a rebound, and 2 points off the bench for Elsie Harris. 8 of 29 from the field for Jack State, 3 of 14 from 3, and 3 of 5 at the free throw line. Western Kentucky had some issues rebounding this season, came in averaging 31.9 rebounds per game. They were basically a minus 7.5 in the average rebound margin. They have a 4-rebound advantage over Jack State in the first half at 19-15. No offensive rebounds for WKU, 2 for Jack State. Just 4 assists on 8 makes for Jack State, 4 assists on 9 makes for Western Kentucky. 7 turnovers in the first half for Jack State led to 6 WKU points. 11 WKU turnovers led to 9 Jack State points. It's 25-22 Western Kentucky at the end of 20 minutes of play. We'll step aside for a brief timeout and come back with more of our halftime report. You're listening to Jack State Women's Basketball on the Gamecocks Sports Network.
In the early hours after the tsunami, it was ham radio that was on the air, saving lives. When Florida was ripped by hurricanes, the hams were there. In the critical moments after the attack of 9/11, it was the hams who coordinated emergency messages. When disasters strike, the hams are ready. Ham radio works when other communications don't. To learn how you can become a ham radio operator, call the ARRL, the National Association for Amateur Radio, at 1-800-326-3942.
Put your phone on D&D, that means do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always sing with me. So put your phone on D&D, that means do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always remember this beat.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Let's take a moment to breathe. Deep inhale. Extend your spine. Remain focused on what you're doing. If safe to do so, exhale slowly, leaning to one side. Inhale back to center. If safe to do so, exhale slowly to the opposite side. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. This message is brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
How was your drive to school?
Let me tell you, I had to get my iced coffee first. I just can't seem to put it down. My favorite rapper just announced a tour. My phone was buzzing like crazy. I'm so excited. I had to text all my friends right then to talk about it. Then, someone started calling me and...
Let's try that again.
I turned my phone off right away. I never drive distracted.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Get hurt in the game? We tough it out. Feel exhausted? We push on. Feeling down? We pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. But there are times when bootstraps aren't enough. When stress gets to us and we need to talk to someone about what we're really going through. So we're going to reach out because sometimes mental health is not a one-person job. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Hello, and welcome to the Jack State Sports Network Streamcast. Tonight's presentation is available on YouTube in audio-only format or from a link at the Jack State Sports Network webpage. Thank you for listening and cheering on the Gamecocks. Now to the venue and your host for today's action.
Welcome back inside the Pete Matthews Coliseum. Donnie Smith with you this evening for Jack State Women's Basketball as the Gamecocks host Western Kentucky. 20 minutes in the books here at the Pete. And it's the visiting Lady Toppers with a 25-22 lead over Jack State. Led by the play so far of junior Zophie Telegdi, leading all scorers with 9 points and leading all players with 5 rebounds. Jack State was 33% from the field in the first quarter, 23% in the second, and are 27% for the game. WKU 54% in the first quarter, dropped off to 27% in the second, but 40.9% for the game from the field. Both these teams with some pretty good three-point shooting prowess. Not tonight. Just 1 of 6 so far for WKU from bonus range, and Jack State is 3 of 14 at 21%. Our halftime report is presented by Chick-fil-A of Jacksonville. What's better than a game day with the Gamecocks? Game day with the Gamecocks and a Chick-fil-A nugget tray. Order online today for Jack State's next home game. Chick-fil-A of Jacksonville, located at 500 Pelham Road South. Proud partners of Jack State Athletics. Let's take a look at the Alabama Power scoreboard. First, at some of the games happening in Conference USA. End of the third quarter in Lynchburg. Liberty with a 10-point lead over Sam Houston at 51-41. Jack State's opponent on Saturday is Middle Tennessee State. They're starting to pull away a little bit in the fourth quarter after outscoring Kennesaw State by 5 in the third. They are on a 5-0 run to start the fourth and lead 47-36 at Kennesaw State with 7:56 to go in the game. Start of the fourth quarter, FIU with a 59-50 lead over La Tech. And we'll take a look also around at some top 25 games. End of the third quarter, it is 13th ranked Georgia Tech with a 5-point lead over Virginia Tech, 66-61. Big game in North Carolina as UNC has a 32-18 lead over 14th ranked Duke. In the Big Ten, it's 23rd ranked Iowa trailing Illinois by 4 in Champaign, 57-53 with 4:16 to play. Start of the second half, Mississippi State with a 33-32 lead over 10th ranked Oklahoma. And Texas already with a 20-point advantage over 18th ranked Alabama, 29-20. 5th ranked Texas with the big lead with 8:49 to go in the second. Some finals from earlier in the SEC. 15th ranked Kentucky, a 71-55 win over Florida. Notre Dame cruises past Wake Forest 100-64. Hannah Hidalgo with 23 points and 6 steals in that contest. And second-ranked South Carolina, no problem with Texas A&M. The second-ranked Gamecocks, a 90-49 win in that contest. And with 1 second to go in Knoxville, 6th-ranked LSU has an 89-87 lead over 16th-ranked Kentucky. We'll step aside for a final timeout. We'll come back with the start of the third quarter as Jack State trails Western Kentucky 25-22 here at the Pete Matthews Coliseum.
In the early hours after the tsunami, it was ham radio that was on the air, saving lives. When Florida was ripped by hurricanes, the hams were there. In the critical moments after the attack of 9/11, it was the hams who coordinated emergency messages. When disasters strike, the hams are ready. Ham radio works when other communications don't. To learn how you can become a ham radio operator, call the ARRL, the National Association for Amateur Radio, at 1-800-326-3942.
Start of the third quarter, WKU with a 25-22 lead over Jack State. It will be Gamecock basketball to start the third quarter. Dressed in the white uniforms with the red and black accents, Maria Sanchez-Ponce inbounds to Maya Barnes, who hands off to Samaya Steele, who's joined on the floor by Brianna Rhodes and Shaquise May. Steele from the right wing matched up against Alexis Mead. Quickly they go inside of Brianna Rhodes. They triple team her. Her turnaround jumper from the right block, no good. Rebound pulled down by Josie Gilvin. Gilvin joined on the floor by Destiny Salary, Alexis Mead, Acacia Hayes, and Zophie Telegdi. Mead flips it cross court to Acacia Hayes on the wing with 15 to shoot. Top of the key, it's Salary. She cuts to the free throw line and backs it back out to Josie Gilvin. Gilvin trying to back down Sanchez-Ponce to the top of the key with a pass to Mead. Left side, it's Salary with 3 to shoot. Pulls up from the elbow, left it woefully short, and it is a take your pick of a shot clock violation or ball out of bounds to Jack State. So the ball goes back to the Gamecocks, who can tie it with a 3. The last time they led was at the 2:17 mark of the first quarter. 13-11. They used a 9-0 run to take that advantage after trailing by 7. In the half court, it's Maya Barnes. She goes to the rim. Layup might have been partially deflected by Meade as the ball goes out of bounds and goes back to Jack State. 8:50 to play in the third, 20 on the shot clock. Looking to inbound is Samaya Steele. Jack State's already been called for 1 5-second count. Nearly got one there as May kicks over to the right side, back to Steele. On the drive from the right wing, the layup won't go off the hand of Rhodes. And WKU with the defensive board going back the other way. Top of the key is Alexis Meade. She's tied up and fouled. Well, the foul called against Maria Sanchez Ponce. First of the quarter, second of the game against Sanchez Ponce. High post, it's Talegdi handing off at the elbow. Drive to the right side by Destiny Salary. Layup won't go. Sanchez Ponce pulls down the rebound. In transition, it's Samaya Steele from the right wing. Steele rolls it off the toes of Gilvin. So the kick ball will give Jack State the ball underneath the basket with 8:15 to play in the third and 22 to shoot. Inbounding is Samaya Steele. Inbound jumper, good by Brianna Rhodes. Quick release on that jumper by Rhodes, who knocks down her first shot of the game. Rhodes, coming off a season high against Kennesaw State, was one off of her career high in that game. Down by 1, Western Kentucky leading with the basketball. Another kickball violation. And the Hilltoppers will inbound with 7:58 to go in the third. Alexis Meade averaging 14 a game. Inbounds it to the top of the key to Destiny Salary. On the drive, Acacia Hayes layup rolls short off the side iron. Rebound pulled down by Maya Barnes of Jack State, which has a chance to regain the lead for the first time since early in the first quarter. Setting the offense is Samaya Steele. Steele off the screen, kicks into the right corner. Sanchez Ponce, pump faking it, drive now, backs out on the right wing. Open look for 3, too strong off the heel of the rim. Rebound pulled down by Zophie Talegdi, who's been the star tonight. From the left side, it's Gilvin looking back inside. Talegdi going to work against Rhodes. Up, under, layup, too strong off the back of the rim, and then she fouls Rhodes on the loose basketball. Talegdi called for her second. First against Western in the second half / third quarter. So again, the Gamecocks with the basketball trying to regain the lead. They trail 25-24. Samaya Steele working the right side against Gilvin. Cross-court pass mishandled by Rhodes. She's able to regain the handle on it. Back to the top of the key. Barnes, 3, offside iron. Offensive rebound. The putback won't go by Steele, and then it's pulled away by Destiny Salary. Salary from the left wing in the half court. Alexis Meade now between the circles. Meade to Talegdi at the point. She pivots, now goes to work with the left hand and hands off to Josie Gilvin. Gilvin against Sanchez Ponce. Drop step, fadeaway jumper, swish. 27-24 WKU. Nice take by Josie Gilvin for her first basket of the game. And again, Western Kentucky will extend the defense and take it away. 3-point shot by Meade, in and out. Rebound collected finally by Maya Barnes as it was tipped around. Now Samaya Steele, 1-on-2 break. Backs out in the corner, works her way back to the right wing, and will set the half-court offense with 6 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Jack State trailing by 3. Sanchez Ponce from the left wing. Rise and fire for 3 off the front of the rim. Rebound Josie Gilvin of WKU. Long bounce pass was nearly intercepted by Maya Barnes, and then it's Gilvin scooping up the loose basketball and hitting the layup. Timeout, Western Kentucky. So the Lady Toppers have taken a 29-24 advantage as Jack State has failed to score in the last 2.5 minutes of basketball. And a timeout taken by Greg Collins will take us to our first media timeout. 5:44 to go in the third. WKU 29, Jack State 24. You're listening to Jack State Women's Basketball on the Gamecock Sports Network.
How was your drive to school?
Let me tell you. I had to get my iced coffee first. I just can't seem to put it down. My favorite rapper just announced a tour. My phone was buzzing like crazy. I'm so excited. I had to text all my friends right then to talk about it. Then, someone started calling me and...
Let's try that again.
I turned my phone off right away. I never drive distracted.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Get hurt in the game? We tough it out. Feel exhausted? We push on. Feeling down? We pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. But there are times when bootstraps aren't enough. When stress gets to us and we need to talk to someone about what we're really going through. So we're going to reach out because sometimes mental health is not a one-person job. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
In the early hours after the tsunami, it was ham radio that was on the air, saving lives. When Florida was ripped by hurricanes, the hams were there. In the critical moments after the attack of 9/11, it was the hams who coordinated emergency messages. When disasters strike, the hams are ready. Ham radio works when other communications don't. To learn how you can become a ham radio operator, call the ARRL, the National Association for Amateur Radio, at 1-800-326-3942.
Jack State Women's Basketball on the Gamecock Sports Network is fueled by McDonald's of Jacksonville and Piedmont. Local owners serving the local community. This is Jack State Women's Basketball on the Gamecock Sports Network. With 5:44 to go in the third quarter, it is WKU with a 29-24 lead over Jack State. Jack State, to start the third, has made just one of their first 8 shots. And WKU, 2 of their first 7 shots. For the game, the Lady Toppers shooting 37% from the field. Jack State shooting 24% from the field. Rick Petrie's club has been able to avoid the turnovers, just haven't been able to convert the shots at the other end. So it is Jack State ball coming out of the 30-second extended to a media timeout taken by WKU. They work against all court pressure from right to left and beat the 10-second count by 2 seconds. Elsie Harris sets the offense for Jack State. Harris matched up against Josie Gilvin, accelerates to the left side, pivots, turn around, kicks it out to the right side for Eden Sample. Sample tied up in the lane of the triple team and has it stolen away by Destiny Salary. Salary out to the right wing for Acacia Hayes. Hayes dribbling at the top of the key with 19 to shoot. Works back to her left and hands off to Alexis Mead. Mead to Salary. Now to the right side to Josie Gilvin. Back to the point with 10 to shoot for Destiny Salary. Acacia Hayes trying to drive. Hayes to the rim. Reverse layup off the glass. No. Rebound pulled down by Shaquise May of Jack State. Gamecocks trying to make it a 4-game win streak. They need to overcome a 5-point deficit here in the third quarter. Tough turnaround jumper in the lane on the fade by Harris. Couldn't get it to go, and the rebound tipped out of bounds by the Lady Toppers. It will stay with Jack State. 4:40 to go in the third. It's WKU 29, Jack State 24. It's Gamecock ball coming out of the timeout when we come back.
In the early hours after the tsunami, it was ham radio that was on the air, saving lives. When Florida was ripped by hurricanes, the hams were there. In the critical moments after the attack of 9/11, it was the hams who coordinated emergency messages. When disasters strike, the hams are ready. Ham radio works when other communications don't. To learn how you can become a ham radio operator, call the ARRL, the National Association for Amateur Radio, at 1-800-326-3942.
put your phone on D&D. That means do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always sing with me. So put your phone on D&D. That means do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always remember this beat.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Get hurt in the game? We tough it out. Feel exhausted? We push on. Feeling down? We pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. But there are times when bootstraps aren't enough. When stress gets to us and we need to talk to someone about what we're really going through. So we're going to reach out, because sometimes mental health is not a one-person job. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
How was your drive to school?
Let me tell you, I had to get my iced coffee first. I just can't seem to put it down. My favorite rapper just announced a tour. My phone was buzzing like crazy. I'm so excited. I had to text all my friends right then to talk about it. Then someone started calling me and...
Let's try that again.
I turned my phone off right away. I never drive distracted.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Lots of ebbs and flows this season for the Jack State women's basketball team. After dropping a close game at Arizona State, 74-66, they rattled off 4 straight wins against Southern Utah, at South Carolina State, UAB, and Sewanee. Then they lost 4 in a row at Missouri, at Coastal Carolina, to College of Charleston, at Utah Valley, and then have come back to win their last 3 against New Orleans, Life, and Kennesaw State. They trail by 5 right now to Western Kentucky, 29-24 with 4:40 left in the third. Western Kentucky got off to a 7-0 start this season, their best since a 15-0 start in 1994-95, a year they went to the Sweet 16, but have gone just 2-5 since, and sit at 9-5 this year. Coming out of the timeout, it was Shaquise May fouled on her way to the rim, but will head to the line for a pair of free throws. Jack State going to have to convert some free throws to try and get back into this game. Western Kentucky is a perfect 6 of 6 at the charity stripe today, 73.2% this year as a team. Jack State today is 3 of 5 at the line and are 64% as a team this season. First one on the way is good by May. May now 3 of 5 at the line this season. One more coming up for the 5'10 senior from Atlanta. Made her 12th start of the season in 13 games. Left that one short, and the rebound collected by Alexis Mead. 29-25. And it looks like we have a player short a shoe. Brianna Rhodes playing defense with one shoe. Somehow I think she got stepped on and had it pulled off of her foot. At the top of the key, it's Maya Pratcher for WKU. Down to 5 to shoot. Alexis Mead trying to drive with 3. Kicks out to the right side. Gilvin for 3. Hits it hard off the backboard. Offensive rebound collected by Maya Pratcher. Under 4 to play in the third. Loose basketball stolen away. Shaquise May dives on the floor after it. Possession arrow to WKU. So a substitution coming up. Valentina Saric back onto the floor for Jack State. That will allow Brianna Rhodes to get her other shoe, but she comes out of the game for Asia Barclay. Also, Eden Sample into the game for Jack State. She replaces Maya Barnes. Shot clock at 20, game clock at 3:55, 4-point lead for WKU. From the right side, it's Kelly Rose West for the Lady Toppers, handing off to Alexis Mead. Pratcher at the top of the key against Saric. Now it's Mead with 7 to shoot. Mead drives the lane, kicks the left side. They try Gilvin from the left wing for 3. It doesn't go. Rebound deflected around Saric and Barclay were tied up with it, and it allows the Lady Toppers to get their second offensive board of the possession. At the top of the key is Callie Rose West, and an illegal screen finally ends the possession right before Josie Gilvin knocks down the triple. Infraction called against Destiny Salary. That's 3 against Salary, 3 against the Lady Toppers in the third quarter. 3:24 to go in the third. 2-possession ball game. Jack State trailing 29-25. Elsie Harris sets the offense, tries a drive to the rim. She's cut off by Maya Pratcher. Trying to pivot, hands off to Barclay, goes back to Harris on the right wing with 13 to shoot. Saric from the left wing. Saric can't shake Callie Rose West. Down to 7 to shoot. Saric tries the left side. Saric blocked by Callie Rose West. Destiny Salary the rebound. Quick transition layup comes up short by Gilvin. And Asia Barclay pulls down the defensive board for Jack State. Down the center of the floor goes Harris. Elsie backs out, looks into the right corner for Eden Sample. Now to Valentina Saric. Saric looks inside to Barclay in the double team, finds the open Sample. Her 3 is too strong. Offensive rebound pulled down by Shaquise May. Elsie Harris hands back to May. Left corner 3, hard off the back of the rim. Rebound tipped into the front row of the bleachers and belongs to WKU. 2:23 to go in the third. WKU with the ball and a 4-point advantage. Alexis Mead hands off of the point to Callie Rose West. Salary at the top of the key. Salary kicks to the right side, it back to Mead. Mead drives, and a foul called. Looks like it goes against Elsie Harris. First against Elsie, and the second against the Gamecocks in the third quarter. Sophie Talegdi back onto the floor for WKU, replacing Josie Gilvin. Ball out of bounds to the Lady Toppers. Maria Sanchez-Ponce back into the Jack State lineup, replacing Shaquise May. Inbound triggered by Alexis Mead to Destiny Salary, who draws another foul. Infraction called against Eden Sample. For Sample, that's her second. Third against the Gamecocks here in the third quarter. To the free throw line goes Destiny Salary. Salary 2 of 2 at the line today. That should put her right around 70% this season. Salary's first free throw is the first miss at the charity stripe of the game by WKU. Jack State has missed their last 8 field goals and haven't scored in 2:23. Both free throws are missed. WKU gets the offensive board with Maya Pratcher. They haven't scored in the last 3.5 minutes. Pass by Mead, stolen away. Asia Barclay up with it for Jack State. 1:50 remaining in the third quarter. 7 total points between these two teams in the third quarter. Elsie Harris for 3. That one rims out from the right corner. Defensive rebound, Destiny Salary. 95 seconds to go in the third. Open look for 3 from the left wing by Pratcher, won't go. Defensive rebound by Maria Sanchez-Ponce. She nearly lost it out of bounds. Sanchez-Ponce across midcourt. Sanchez-Ponce trying to go coast to coast and draws the foul. Infraction called against Maya Pratcher, number 5. That's her first, team's 4th. And with 1:22 to go in the third, Maria Sanchez-Ponce with a chance to make it a 1-possession game. Sanchez-Ponce today with 6 points. Knocks down the first. 20 total points in her first 7 games played. She scored 23 in her last 2. And she has earned her second start of the season today. 5'10 junior from Spain. Transfer from Reinhardt University. Members of the Appalachian Athletic Conference of the NAIA. She left the second free throw off the front end of the iron. So it's a 3-point game. Western Kentucky with the lead and the basketball. Alexis Mead between the circles for WKU with 1:10 remaining in the third quarter. Zophie Telegdi with the ball on the left side. She leads everybody in everything today with 9 points and 7 rebounds. Gets it back to Mead. Mead tied up and it's stolen away by Eden Sample. 54 seconds left to Harris on the right side. Harris and one! Elsie Harris converts the layup and she heads to the free throw line with a chance to tie the game with 51 seconds left in the third. Destiny Salary called for the foul, and that's 4 on her. And a line change coming up for Greg Collins. Josie Gilvin back into the contest, and Salma Cotter, a 6'1 freshman from Giza, Egypt, into the game for the first time. Also, Acacia Hayes back into the contest. Alexis Mead to the bench. Elsie Harris. Free throw, left it short. Rebound into the hands of Valentina Saric, so the possession stays alive, and now Jack State with a chance to take the lead, and Saric buries the triple. Gamecocks lead it with 40 seconds to go in the third. Long pass in transition. Turnaround jumper good by Josie Gilvin, and just like that, we're tied at 31, and Rick Petrie tosses the towel. All court pressure applied after the make by WKU. Elsie Harris ahead to Maria Sanchez Ponce. Back to Harris at the point, shot clock off, 17 on the game clock. Gamecocks will have the final say of the third quarter and will start the fourth quarter with the basketball. Big possession here for Jack State. 3-ball, Saric, short. Rebound, Cotter, jump ball. Well, that will take away the possession to start the fourth quarter by Jack State. So the tie-up gives Jack State the ball off the possession arrow, but now Western will get the ball to start the fourth quarter. Elsie Harris to inbound with 4.9 seconds left. Inbound pass comes into Eden Sample, and they turn it over. So now Western Kentucky will get the final say of the third quarter and get the ball to start the fourth quarter. A big turn of events right there for Jack State. A chance to make it a 2-possession game for the first time tonight, and a missed opportunity. Mackenzie Chatfield does not get the shot off in time, and we will go to the fourth quarter tied at 31.
In the early hours after the tsunami, it was ham radio that was on the air, saving lives. When Florida was ripped by hurricanes, the hams were there. In the critical moments after the attack of 9/11, it was the hams who coordinated emergency messages. When disasters strike, the hams are ready. Ham radio works when other communications don't. To learn how you can become a ham radio operator, call the ARRL, the National Association for Amateur Radio, at 1-800-326-3942.
How was your drive to school?
Let me tell you, I had to get my iced coffee first. I just can't seem to put it down. My favorite rapper just announced a tour. My phone was buzzing like crazy. I'm so excited. I had to text all my friends right then to talk about it. Then, someone started calling me and...
Let's try that again.
I turned my phone off right away. I never drive distracted.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Put your phone on D&D. That means do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always sing with me. So put your phone on D&D. That means do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always remember this beat.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Let's take a moment to breathe. Deep inhale. Extend your spine. Remain focused on what you're doing. If safe to do so, exhale slowly, leaning to one side. Inhale back to center. If safe to do so, exhale slowly to the opposite side. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. This message is brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Looking forward to a great finish here inside the Pete Matthews Coliseum. 31-all as we start the fourth quarter of play between Jack State and WKU in our women's basketball game. Gamecocks outscoring Western Kentucky 9-6 in the third quarter to tie up the contest at 31-all. However, had a chance to do some damage there at the end of the third. They had the ball and the possession arrow in the final 15 seconds. They get a shot, miss it, get the offensive rebound, but then turn it over after the ball was tied up, so they lose the arrow, then turn the ball over, so they lost the possession and the arrow, and now it's Western Kentucky ball to start the fourth quarter. Mackenzie Chatfield, the sophomore from Auckland, New Zealand, at the top of the key, gives up the dribble and passes to Selma Cotter, the freshman from Giza, Egypt, and she turns it over. Here's Elsie Harris on the left side. Harris backing out, trying to give Jack State the lead for the first time since late in the quarter. Sanchez Ponce's triple dies on the back of the rim. Rebound out of bounds to the Lady Toppers. From left to right go the Lady Toppers of WKU. Josie Gilvin inbounding to Mackenzie Chatfield, joined on the floor by Acacia Hayes, Zophie Telegdi, and Selma Cotter. Top of the key, it's Telegdi, 9.7 rebounds, leads everybody in both categories. Nice give and go pass inside, back to Telegdi from Chatfield, who lays it up and in. Telegdi, the first player in a double figures tonight, as WKU extends the defense full court off of the make. 33-31 WKU, and a 10-second violation. No, they're able to beat it with the pass. Into the half court goes Asia Barclay and hands it off to Elsie Harris. That play looked doomed. They were at their own free throw line with 2 seconds left on the 10-second count, and then Saric with a travel. Elsie Harris checks out of the Jack State lineup. Checking in is Samaya Steele. Valentina Saric out. Maya Barnes back into Rick Petrie's lineup. So now WKU with a chance to make this a two-possession contest. Mackenzie Chatfield handing off to Josie Gilvin. Back to Chatfield on the right side. She drives baseline. Pass into the lane. Cotter, layup good. The freshman from Egypt getting her first basket of the contest and pushes the lead to 4 for WKU. 8:35 remaining in the fourth. 35-31. Ball into the right corner for Eden Sample of Jack State. Sample rotates to the right wing, now looks inside to Asia Barclay. Tries to drive through the double team, powers it off the glass. No, rebound pulled down by Josie Gilvin of Western Kentucky. Chatfield back out to Gilvin. Her triple won't go off side iron. Rebound Asia Barclay of Jack State. Down the right sideline, it's Samaya Steele. Barclay can't hang on to it. It's scooped up by Josie Gilvin. Bounce pass right side to Mackenzie Chatfield. Hands back off to Gilvin. Inside to Cotter. Cotter turnaround layup. Won't go. Rolls off the rim. And the rebound goes out of bounds to Jack State. Brianna Rhodes coming back into the Gamecock lineup, replacing Asia Barclay. Maya Barnes inbounds for Jack State. Gamecocks 16% from the field in the second half, and they only trail by 4. Salma Cotter called for her first foul, and the team first of the fourth quarter. Maria Sanchez Ponce going to the free throw line for 2. Sanchez Ponce with 7 points. 2 of 4 at the free throw line today, and it's the first one off the back of the rim. Sanchez Ponce averaging about 5 points per game. And the second free throw finds its way home. Jack State now 6 of 12, 50% at the line today. They trail by 3. Ball to the top of the key for WKU's number 23, Zophie Telegdi. Now it's Mackenzie Chatfield out to the left side for Josie Gilvin. Telegdi pivots, wings it near side to Salma Cotter. Cotter pivots with 8, goes inside, layup No good, but a foul called against the Gamecocks. I think they got Maya Barnes. Second against Barnes. First against Jack State in the fourth quarter. Nobody in serious foul trouble for Jack State. Destiny Salary of WKU has 4. She is on the bench right now. Cotter's first free throw is no good. 4 of 6 at the line this season. She's played in 12 games, averages about 9 minutes per contest. Has played in multiple FIBA African Cups and knocks down the second. 36-32, 7:17 to play in the fourth quarter. Jack State against all court pressure. They're able to break it with time left remaining. Back into the corner goes Samaya Steele. Steele rotates to the top of the key off the dribble. Looks for the play call from Rick Petrie, who's hunched over in front of the bench. Comes off the screen, kicks over to the right corner for Eden Sample. Sample trying to drive against Mackenzie Chatfield. Pass cross court, deflected, and a big collision with the scorer's table on the near side with Josie Gilvin. She looks to be okay. And the basketball goes out of bounds to the visiting Lady Toppers. 6:52 remaining in the fourth. WKU 36, Jack State 32. Western Kentucky trying to get back into the win column for the first time in 4 games. And a foul called against Eden Sample of Jack State. Third against Sample, second against Jack State in the fourth quarter. Substitution for Jack State, Shaquise May in, Eden Sample out. Salma Cotter, the freshman to inbound. Played in the United States at Spire Academy in Ohio. Inbound pass comes in to Josie Gilvin. Hands it back off to Zophie Telegdi. Now they try and work inside Acacia Hayes. She has it taken away from her with Selma back the other way. Samaya Steele lays it up and in. Samaya Steele with 5 and a chance to make it 6 and get her team within 1. 36-34 WKU with 6:28 to play in the fourth. Samaya Steele, the best free throw shooter on the team at 77.8%. 1 of 2 at the line today. And a violation called against Jack State as the free throw was going to go up. So wave it off. WKU with the ball and a 2-point advantage. Mackenzie Chatfield from the right wing. Looking to the top of the key to Acacia Hayes. Selma Cotter looks inside. Zophie Telegdi traveled. Down to 6:16 to play in the fourth quarter. 36-34 in favor of WKU. WKU with 2 timeouts remaining. Jack State with all 4. Should it come down to that in the latter part of this contest. Both teams with a couple of fouls to give. 1 less now for WKU as Zophie Telegdi is called for the infraction there. Ball out of bounds to the Gamecocks in the half court. 5:59 to play in the fourth. Inbounding is Samaya Steele. Powering up and missing the shot is Brianna Rhodes, but she draws the foul. So now it's Brianna Rhodes, a 73% free throw shooter going to the line. These are her first free throw attempts of the game. Jack State as a team is 6 of 13. Rhodes cleanly connects on the first. Little unconventional approach by Brianna Rhodes. She's basically shooting these free throws from the right elbow. She does not shoot it straight on. She's all the way to the right side of the free throw line, left the second one short. Rebound pulled down by Selma Cotter of WKU. 1-point game. Lady Toppers with the lead in the basketball. 36-35, 5 3/4 remaining. Zophie Telegdi at the point. Hands off to Acacia Hayes. Head fake and a drive. Right-handed layup too strong. Offensive rebound pulled down by Talegdi, but then it's swatted away by Maya Barnes. Jack State with the basketball and a chance to regain the lead. Last time they led was with 57 seconds to go in the third quarter. Ball into the corner for Samaya Steele. It's knocked out of bounds with 14 to shoot. Possession remains with the Gamecocks. 5:19 to play, 14 to shoot. Inbounding is Samaya Steele. Steele looking. Head throws it in towards the midcourt stripe where it's hauled in by Shaquise May. Samaya Steele with 7 to shoot. Steele has a screen, elects not to use it. Into the right corner. Shaquise May with 3 seconds, 2 seconds, and a shot clock violation against the Gamecocks. So another opportunity to regain the lead goes to the wayside. Back into the Western Kentucky lineup is Alexis Mead. She replaces Acacia Hayes. So now 2 point guards on the floor for head coach Greg Collins as they go with Mead and Chatfield. Here's Mead between the rings. Looks to the left side for Josie Galvin. 18 to shoot. Ball at the top of the key to Talegdi. Talegdi drives the lane back out to the left side. 3 ball by Gilvin. No. Offensive rebound, Alexis Mead. Top of the key, it's Gilvin. Flips it over to the left side for Mackenzie Chatfield. She tries a triple and converts. Chatfield, a 40% three-point shooter with her 18th make in 13 games. Not a lot of success from bonus range today for WKU, but their second 3 of the game gives them a 4-point lead with 4:21 remaining. Trying to answer from the right side for 3 is May. That comes up short. It's WKU ball with 4:14 remaining and a 4-point lead. The way that this game has gone, where there's so much riding on each possession, you get a 3-pointer here, which is taken by Chatfield, which rattles out and falls back home, and 7 could be insurmountable at this point. 42-35 with 3:52 remaining. Chatfield with back-to-back triples for WKU as they've scored 6 points in the last 40 seconds. And Rick Petrie takes a timeout. It is a 30, which will extend us to a media timeout. Down to 3:45 to play, and it's WKU with a 42-35 lead over Jack State. You're listening to Jack State Women's Basketball on the Gamecocks Sports Network.
How was your drive to school?
Let me tell you, I had to get my iced coffee first. I just can't seem to put it down. My favorite rapper just announced a tour. My phone was buzzing like crazy. I'm so excited. I had to text all my friends right then to talk about it. Then someone started calling me and...
Let's try that again.
I turned my phone off right away. I never drive distracted.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Get hurt in the game? We tough it out. Feel exhausted? We push on. Feeling down? We pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. But there are times when bootstraps aren't enough. When stress gets to us and we need to talk to someone about what we're really going through. So we're going to reach out because sometimes mental health is not a one-person job. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Put your phone on D&D. That means do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always sing with me. So put your phone on D&D. That means do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always remember this beat.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Let's take a moment to breathe. Deep inhale. Extend your spine. Remain focused on what you're doing. If safe to do so, exhale slowly, leaning to one side. Inhale back to center. If safe to do so, exhale slowly to the opposite side. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. This message is brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
3:45 remaining in regulation here at the Pete Matthews Coliseum as Western Kentucky is starting to pull away from Jack State. They are on a 6-0 run thanks to back-to-back three-pointers by Mackenzie Chatfield to take a 7-point lead, 42-35 with 3:45 to go in the fourth quarter. Jack State just can't see the ball go through the net at this point. 24% from the field compared to Western Kentucky's 37%. They've played well enough on defense to win. They just have not been able to get the ball to go through the rim. It's Jack State ball coming out of the timeout. Elsie Harris running the offense at the point, looks to Maria Sanchez-Ponce on the left side. 12 to shoot. Sanchez-Ponce pivots, looks to the top of the key for Brianna Rhodes. Elsie Harris with 5. Elsie Harris on the drive, pulls up from 13, airballs, but the ball goes off of Selma Cotter out of bounds. Possession stays with Jack State. They got 2 to shoot. Ball did not touch the rim, so no reset. Harris to inbounds. Got a catch and release. Ball deflected out of bounds, so now it'll be a sideline inbound, I believe. Yes, it is. Eric Koch pointing to his right, directing Elsie Harris to the sideline in the corner to our left. They do run a second off, so now it's 1 to shoot with 3:26 to play. It comes in, they don't get it off. It's a shame because they got the pass into Brianna Rhodes, who gave it right back to Elsie Harris, who drained a corner three. 3:25 left in the fourth. WKU with a 7-point advantage, a chance to take their biggest lead of the night with 3 minutes to go in the game. Selma Cotter from the left wing, matched up against Maya Barnes. Sophie Telegdi at the top of the key, feeds it to Mackenzie Chatfield. Chatfield to the right side to Alexis Mead, looks inside to Telegdi. Pull up 10-footer, bingo. Telegdi's been excellent today. She has 13. Telegdi came in averaging about 8 a game. Biggest lead of the game is at 9. 44-35, 2:50 remaining in the contest. Telegdi led the team in scoring in the season opener at Indiana State and has not done so since. Inside, they go to Brianna Rhodes. Her turnaround jumper is good. Brianna Rhodes with 5 in the game. And then a foul called against Mackenzie Chatfield. So the basket counts. And that's going to be a chance at a 3-point play as Rhodes goes to the line. Free throw goes off side iron. And they call a violation against WKU. So a mulligan, if you will, for Brianna Rhodes. 7-point game with 2:33 to play. Rhodes makes the most of the second opportunity. So she converts the old-fashioned 3-point play unconventionally. Shaquise May heads to the bench. Back into the game is Eden Sample for Jack State. 6-point lead for WKU with the basketball. Setting the offense is Alexis Mead. Mead against Sample, looks to the top of the key to Mackenzie Chatfield. Now to the left side to Selma Cotter. Top of the key to Zophie Telegdi. Swing it left side. It's Josie Gilvin. Gilvin inside. Chatfield fouled on the jump shot from the elbow. I believe that's going to go against Sanchez Ponce. And that is her third and the team's third of the fourth quarter. 2:10 to play in the fourth. WKU has reached the foul limit, so Jack State is shooting free throws the rest of the night. Chatfield calmly converts the first free throw. Now 9 of 14 this season at the charity stripe for the sophomore from Auckland, New Zealand. She converts both. And it's now back to an 8-point lead for the Lady Toppers. From right to left go the Gamecocks. Eden Sample across the timeline as she was able to break the all-court pressure. Elsie Harris from the right wing, standing on top of the Bill Jones signature on the court. Looks to the left wing for Destiny Salary. Her pass tipped into the hands of Maria Sanchez Ponce. It's out of bounds, staying with the Gamecocks. 1:50 to play, 11 to shoot. Elsie Harris to inbound. Rolls it in to Brianna Rhodes. Rhodes tries to drive baseline. Rhodes, layup, good. Brianna Rhodes coming on strong here late. She has 8. And the lead is down to 6 with 100 seconds remaining. Jack State needs a stop. Looks to the left side for Josie Gilvin. Sophie Talegdi hands back to Gilvin at the top of the key. Gilvin, no-look bounce pass to the right side for Mackenzie Chatfield. Back to the point for Alexis Mead with 10 to shoot. Matched up against Eden Sample. And a foul away from the basketball called against Brianna Rhodes. That is her 3rd and the team's 4th. 1:23 to play, 20 to shoot. Next foul against Jack State results in free throws. It'll put them over the limit. Top of the key to Alexis Mead. 1:17 to go. Talegdi trying to go to work in the lane. She's doubled. Kicked out to the left side. Josie Chatfield's triple doesn't go. Rebound called in by Eden Sample of Jack State. 2-possession game. Sample to the left side finds Elsie Harris. She's tied up and has it stolen away by Mackenzie Chatfield. Final minute of regulation. WKU with the ball up by 6. Alexis Mead in no hurry to run this play. 17 to shoot. Chatfield at the point. Looking to the left side to Selma Cotter. 10 to shoot. 43 to play. Talegdi hands off to Chatfield. Chatfield from the wing with 5. Looks into the paint. Turnaround jumper. Rims good by Alexis Mead. And a timeout taken after the make. And Jack State has called a full timeout. And it comes with 34 seconds remaining in regulation. WKU leading by 8. The foul situation for Jack State. Eden Sample with 3, Brianna Rhodes with 3, and Maria Sanchez Ponce with 3. For Western Kentucky, Sophie Talegdi with 3 and Destiny Salary with 4, but we have not seen a lot of Destiny Salary here in the second half. A very balanced scoring night for both teams outside of Sophie Talegdi's 13 points and 8 rebounds. 8 points for Brianna Rhodes, 8 points for Maria Sanchez Ponce, and 6 for Valentina Saric. So it is Jack State ball. With the timeout, they are able to advance it into the half court, so that saves some valuable time. Each team with 2 timeouts remaining. Sanchez Ponce to inbound, joined on the floor by Maya Barnes, Brianna Rhodes, Eden Sample, and Elsie Harris. Harris to the top of the key to Maya Barnes. Quickly they go inside to Rhodes. Rhodes layup and 1. So Brianna Rhodes, a chance to make it a 5-point game. Brianna Rhodes into double figures with 10. Coming off of a season-high 19 on Saturday against Kennesaw State. So back-to-back games in double figures. She has started all 13 this year for Jack State. Converts the free throw to give her 11. And now Rick Petrie, some offense for defense substitutions. Shaquise May in for Maria Sanchez Ponce. 48-43. WKU with the lead and the basketball with 27 and 9/10 remaining in the game. Sophie Talegdi against all-court pressure. Loose basketball. Talegdi has it roll off of her. It's scooped up by Brianna Rhodes. Rhodes working the right side, and she bowls over the defender. It's a defensive foul called. Rhodes is going back to the free throw line for 2. Slow to get up is Samaya Steele. After colliding with the basket standard, she looks to be okay. But now Rhodes will shoot 2 in a 5-point game with 17 8/10 to go. We're not done yet. Rhodes converts the first after a bounce off the front of the rim. This to make it a one-possession game. Don't foul Alexis Mead after the make. That one doesn't go, tipped out of bounds to WKU. Asia Barclay in, Brianna Rhodes out of the Jack State lineup, and now WKU will take a timeout. They will take a 30, and again, that is the best press breaker right now in college basketball, at least on the women's side. You take a 30, you advance the ball to the hash mark, and you don't have to worry about a turnover in the backcourt. 17.1 seconds remaining. And Jack State will see. They can't afford to try and get a stop. They're going to have to foul right from the get-go. On the court for Western Kentucky is Mackenzie Chatfield, who's 2 of 2 at the line today and 10 of 15 this season. Alexis Mead, don't foul her. She's 87% from the free throw line. Zophie Talegdi is 10 of 17 at the line. Josie Gilman, 77% this season. And they have to foul Mead. That was the key for Greg Collins' kids during that timeout. We've got to find a way to get the ball to 3. That's exactly what they did. So Alexis Mead at the charity stripe, shooting 2. Mead this season has missed 5 free throws in 41 attempts. She makes the first. It's a 5-point lead. This to make it 6, and does. Timeout Jack State. That is their 3rd timeout with 15.6 seconds remaining. They get to advance the basketball. Saves them some time. And they will inbound from the hash mark on our side of the court opposite the Jack State bench. Coming up next for Jack State, they will be at home on Saturday, 2:30 tip-off against Middle Tennessee State. Western Kentucky will be on the road Saturday at Kennesaw State for a 2 p.m. start. 50-44 is WKU's advantage with 15.6 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter. Valentina Saric to inbound. Trying to get some three-point shooters on the floor. They get a ball back to Saric. Her three-pointer off the mark, a little too strong. Harris tries to inbound the ball out of bounds, and it belongs to WKU, who will now take their final timeout. It is a full timeout with 11.1 seconds remaining. So Western Kentucky out of timeouts with 11.1 seconds remaining. Jack State has 1 30-second timeout remaining. And it is a 2-possession game, so best case is somehow you get a steal off the inbound if you decide to play it out, if you don't foul right from the get-go. And again, of who's on the court for WKU, I guess Talegdi or Chatfield might be your best options just on the low number of free throw attempts that they've had this season. Everybody else on the court is quite solid, or Cotter. Cotter just 4 of 6 coming into today's action from the free throw line. You'd rather not foul Mead, and you'd rather not foul Talegdi. Or Gilvin for that matter. Definitely don't foul Gilvin or Mead. 3 and 33 are probably off limits, and that's exactly who you want to get the ball to if you're Greg Collins. Josie Gilvin will inbound. Gilvin gets it into Chatfield, who's fouled. Runs the clock down to 10.5 remaining. Chatfield to the line to shoot 2. Pair of makes here. Even one make will probably put this one out of reach. Chatfield's free throw off the back of the rim, and no. Rick Petrie telling the referee he will want a timeout after this, most likely. Chatfield's second attempt is true. Timeout Jack State. They will advance the ball and will inbound opposite their bench. Final Jack State timeout. It comes with 10.5 remaining in the fourth quarter. Jack State trails by 7. So the 3-game win streak by the Gamecocks in jeopardy of ending in 10.5 seconds. Gamecocks 6-1 on this floor this season. It would be just their second loss at the Pete Matthews Coliseum, and the first since December the 11th when they dropped the game to the College of Charleston. And again, Western Kentucky got off to a 7-0 start, their best since the 1994-95 season, but have gone just 2-5 since, and are looking to end a 3-game slide. Dropped an 18-point game at Kentucky, an 11-point game to Liberty, and a 1-point game to FIU. Inbound pass comes in to Elsie Harris. Hands off on the right side to Brianna Rhodes. 5 seconds left. Harris for 3. Left it short. Defensive board pulled down by Josie Gilvin, and that'll do it. Western Kentucky ends a 3-game losing streak and improves to 10-5 on the season, 1-2 in Conference USA play with a 51-44 victory over Jacksonville State. The Gamecocks dropped to 7-6 overall and a 1-1 in Conference USA play. We will step aside for a brief timeout and come back with the Gamecock Locker Room Show. You're listening to Jack State Women's Basketball on the Gamecock Sports Network. The Locker Room Show will start now as head coach Rick Petrie will come over and join us briefly here on the postgame show after a 7-point loss to Western Kentucky. Coach, it just didn't seem like the ball wanted to go through the rim at times tonight.
But that's who we are. That's who we've been. In that stretch of games where we lost 4 in a row, that's exactly what it looked like. We had nobody on our team to make a shot. We got nobody on our team. Unfortunately, it's unfortunate, we just don't have anybody we can count on offense from one game to the next. You know, we have kids who can have good games. We've got that. We've established that. We got kids who can have good games. We don't have anybody who's established they can have a good series of games. They can have a good game from time to time. And so what that means is you got to be perfect on defense. And unfortunately for us, you know, when the game was even, we allowed 0 to win the game for them. You know, and that shouldn't have happened. We just allowed her to shoot the ball right over the top of our heads. That's not how we're coached. That's not how we're supposed to play defense. And we just allowed it. We just allowed her to catch it and shoot it right over the top of our heads. So we just dared her to shoot it, and she hit a 3. And then that confidence led to the next possession. She hits another one, and the game was over. The game was over. The rest of it was just window dressing. You know, we competed and we tried to, but the game essentially ended at that point. It went from 35. Or 36-34 to 42-34 in a drop of a hat, or 35, whatever it was. It went from being a 1-possession game to a 3-possession game when we couldn't score. And a 3-possession game in a game like this might as well be a 16-possession game because we couldn't score. And so when you give up those kinds of baskets, then you're just basically committing suicide and you're shooting yourself in the head. And that's what we did. We shot ourselves in the head. And again, this thing. Because we don't have anybody we can count on to score consistently, what we have been good is, defensively. I don't know if Western. You'd have to look back on their schedule to see if they've been held to 51 points all year.
58 was the low against Oregon State,
and it's Oregon State. You know, so we held them to 51.
Right.
But unfortunately, we can't count on anybody in our group to make baskets. And, we had people in position to make baskets. Sure. And listen, I don't want to take away anything. Western Kentucky made it hard for us. Don't misunderstand me. Don't misunderstand me. But then when the opportunities do present themselves, you got to convert at a reasonable rate. And we didn't do that.
I think that was kind of the key there at the end of the third quarter. You had the arrow, you had the ball in a tight game, and unfortunately the turnover along with the held ball, you kind of went 0 for 2 in those situations. Yeah. That really turned things as well.
Yeah, but we were able to recover from that. What we couldn't recover from was a one-possession game and just letting Zero shoot the ball over the top of our head. We couldn't recover. And then the fact that the next possession, because she's feeling juiced, because she just made one, because she's a reserve. She's a kid who comes off the bench for them. Now, but she can shoot it, 40% shooter, 40%. And we just let her shoot it over the top of us. It's a cardinal sin in our program, and unfortunately, that's what I'm saying. We just committed suicide. We committed basketball suicide, and so that's what we get. When you kill yourself, you lose, and that's what happened.
Appreciate the time, Coach.
Thank you.
Rick Petrie joining us here on the Gamecock Locker Room Show, brought to you by State Farm agent Mike Douglas, providing insurance and financial services. 2 office locations in Jacksonville and Piedmont to better serve your needs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. 51-44 your final score in favor of WKU over Jack State. The Gamecocks falling to 7-6, 1-1 in Conference USA play. The Lady Toppers now 10-5, 1-2 in Conference USA play. We'll run you through the final stats before we send you on your way. Zophie Talegdi with the big night, 13 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists for WKU. Josie Gilvin, 6 points and 9 rebounds. Destiny Salary, 6 points, 3 rebounds. 8 points and 5 rebounds, along with 3 assists for Alexis Mead. Acacia Hayes, 2 points and 2 assists. Mackenzie Chatfield, that's the player that Coach Petrie was mentioning in the postgame show, finishes with 9 points and 3 assists, knocking down those 2 crucial three-pointers in the fourth quarter. Callie Rose West, 4 points, 4 rebounds off the bench, and Selma Cotter with 3 points and 2 rebounds. Western Kentucky finished the game 39% from the field, helped out by a 54% effort in the fourth quarter. They were just 3 of 15 from 3, 20%, and 12 of 16 at the free throw line for 75%. For Jack State, Brianna Rhodes with a team-high 12 points and 3 rebounds. Maya Barnes adding 2 points and 6 rebounds. Maria Sanchez-Ponce with 8 points, 3 rebounds. 3 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists for Shaquise May. Samaya Steele with 5 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists. Asia Barclay with 2 points, 6 rebounds. And Eden Sample with 2 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. Valentina Saric with 6 points and a pair of rebounds off the bench. Elsie Harris with 4 points off the bench as well. Jack State finishes the game 27% from the field, 15% from 3, and 52% from the free throw line. None of those numbers good enough to win. Turnovers, 16 by Jack State, leading to 15 WKU points, 19 by Western Kentucky, leading to 15 Jack State points. Rebounded went to Western Kentucky, an area where they've struggled, but not tonight. They out-rebound Jack State 42-33. Just 5 offensive rebounds for the Lady Toppers, 9 offensive boards for Jack State, but that only turned into 4 second-chance points. Final score, 51-44 in favor of the Lady Toppers. We will talk to you again on Saturday at 2:30 as Jack State plays host to Middle Tennessee State University. We appreciate you joining us on behalf of all of us here at Jack State on the Gamecock Sports Network. My name is Donnie Smith. Have a great night.